Hi guys, so I wanted to give a video response to a reader's comment on one of my articles called "Is Riding Dangerous?" Now, the reader herself, she's interested in horses, obviously she reads my articles, but she has a niece that doesn't or isn't allowed to ride. Her father will just not allow her to ride. Now, I can understand why, because he either witnessed or he knew somebody that was killed in a riding accident when he was younger. Accidents on horseback do happen, and some people argue there's no such thing as the freak accident, and I think if you are taking every precaution and you are riding somewhere with knowledgeable people, a freak accident is unlikely to happen. It's the same as driving the car. If you're on your phone or chatting to someone else, or you're smoking or you're eating or you've got hot coffee in your lap, and then you have a head-on accident, is that a freak accident, or would have it not happened if you hadn't had so many distractions going on in the car? I don't know. But the girl is 12 now, and I think that if she wanted to go, she's probably, I've had her daughter. Daughters become very interesting at the age of 14. Now, if that child is passionate about horses, nothing will stop her climbing aboard a horse. And it does concern me that, she's going to be 12, 13, 14, and she's going to go and do what she wants to do. And she's going to be doing that now without the knowledge of what she could have been gaining since the age of 3. For example, if her father had allowed her to be around horses. Being around horses from a young age will protect you. You become very observant about just the ways of horses, and I believe that should start when you're young. I've got readers myself that say they started in their 20s or 30s and they're learning all they can, and I tip their hat to them. But sometimes when you've been around them for a very, very long time, and as a child, you almost get an instinct for them. To give you an example, I was on a beach with my other half recently, and he's been riding since his mid-20s, and we saw a horse coming down on the shore to, have a paddle in the sea or something. She was bareback, the horse was bareback, she was riding bareback, and she had a wetsuit on, and I immediately said, I want the dogs on the lead and I want to move away. But he was all smiles and wanted to take pictures, and I said, no, please put the dogs on the lead. I could see the horse was head high, very tentative about the waves. I had an instinct that maybe this woman hadn't prepared this horse properly. Everyone else just thought it was a wonderful sight and wanted to watch this horse swim in the sea. So we put the dogs on the lead and we moved away, and the horse exploded. The horse exploded and ran down the beach. Fortunately, myself, my partner and the dogs were out of the way. And that's just an instinct. He'd been riding for 25 years. He's in his 50s now. He didn't see that. He might have seen the head high, but there's just more to it. There's just more to it than head high and tentative steps. It's something you learn over a lifetime. And unfortunately, this child, if she decides to go against her father's wishes, I'm just worried she will climb aboard her friend's horse when she's 14, and then there will be an accident. Just without a doubt. She needs to go somewhere where I know her auntie is knowledgeable about horses, and I just hope the child goes to her, or a riding school, or someone that knows about horses. But I remember being a teenager and I would get on anything. I was getting on anything till my mid-30s. It was showing off. If someone was bucked off, I thought I would look like a superstar if I said, yeah, I'll get on it, it won't get me off. But it was pure stupidity, and I don't do it anymore. I know better, obviously. A horse that bucks, it isn't about getting on it. I don't want to go into that now, but there's a whole lot more going on than whether you can sit a buck or not. But I do understand where the guy is coming from, but sometimes you know, I have a daughter myself, and I've been in some horrible situations with her. And we had a pony once, and he had behavioural issues, but only with her. He never did any of the things he did with her with me, and I would obviously school him. He would roll with her, rear with her, buck with her. He would do everything. He obviously didn't respect her. She wasn't the leader. Everything I tried to work through with her, but she, in some ways, she was too young to be paying attention and too young to follow through with my advice. You know, when you are very young, you know, some children are very much like, well, what do you know? It's only a bit later when they say, well, actually you did know, but it doesn't help in the situation at the time. But he bucked her off. Well, he bonked, unseated her, then followed through with a buck, and she landed on her head. And you know, there was a split second where I just thought, this is it. I'm going to witness my child being killed, because I just waited for her neck to snap. Did I stop her riding anymore? No. It was a situation, not a just. I don't want to play it down. It was awful, and I retired that pony. I did the sensible thing. He was too small for me. I probably could have worked through those issues, but he was too small for me. She wasn't in a position to want to deal with it and spend the time working through those issues with me and the pony as a team. And I didn't want to sell him to anyone else. I didn't want anyone else's child to be put in danger, and I retired him, and he's living his life out at a sanctuary somewhere now. But I've never told my daughter no to, you know, once she reached an appropriate age for doing certain things she wanted to do. I never told her no, because even in the event of her death, which is my absolute worst nightmare, I can't stop my child living her life. And I think if she is passionate about horses, she is going to climb on one day. And he might have been much better off putting her in the care of her auntie, who has very sensible horses, and learning with somebody that's doing all the correct things to keep her safe. Now, it's just a shame that article, in the article I'm describing why riding might be dangerous for some people, and you know, one of the readers does have a niece now where it could be dangerous for her to climb on a horse. I think that you can instill in a child that something's not allowed, and it makes them want to go and try it more. If your child is saying, I really want to go and ride a horse, take them to a good riding school and let them get on with it. The other thing that I feel sad about, which is why the other reason I was making this video, is because my father was actually the first person that lifted me onto the first horse I ever owned, and it's such a lovely memory of him doing that. And you know, he's getting quite old now. He's approaching 80, and one day, you know, he's not going to be here, and I'm always going to have that memory that it was him that supported that passion. He supported me in anything I wanted to do. And I'd been having riding lessons for about a year, and I was lifted onto a horse bareback, no hat. I have the BHS on my back, but no hat. And I was on this horse and bareback, rubbing her neck, and he said, she's yours. And I was just blown away, and it makes me quite teary thinking about it. But my dad supported me in everything I wanted to do, and I had many days where I was down in the stables all day long playing with the girlies and plaiting manes and getting up to really silly things. And a lot of these silly things I do talk about sometimes in my articles. And isn't it just a shame that this guy, in trying to protect his daughter, that she's not having all those memories that I did, and she's not going to be saying also at my age, oh, my dad supported me in everything I wanted to try. And my dad knew it was dangerous, but he still had to do it. You can't protect them. You can't, if you wrap a child in cotton wool, then they are never going to leave the house, are they? I mean, we can't bring up our children that way. But I just find it very sad on quite a few levels, and I'm a little bit worried about this child. And, you know, I hope her auntie does go to her and said, look, don't go and climb aboard another friend's horse. Come and see me. I won't tell your dad, because it's going to happen. That child's going to get on a horse. You wouldn't have stopped me. There was a field near my school, and there was donkeys in that field, and I used to ride them after school. No tack, in my school clothes, just climb on board. I used to fall off, get back on. And I met the owner years later. I met her literally 10 years later. And I had my own horse by then, my next horse. And I said, oh, your donkeys are wonderful. I remember seeing them from the school window when I was at school. And she said, oh, never ride them, will you? And like, I had to say, oh no, of course not, because I didn't know any better as a child. I didn't know not to ride them. I was just being an idiot. I didn't. Now as an adult, of course, I wouldn't go into someone's field and get on their horse bareback or their donkey, but as a child I didn't know better. But this is why I can speak from experience. If that child wants to ride, she's going to ride. Better to support them and make sure your children do things in a safe, proper manner than them go off and try it anyway. So I just wanted to leave that with you, and I do believe the universe does work in strange ways. I know, call me mad, but I actually do think it does, and I hope that, who knows, somebody might show that father this video and he needs to crack on. She's 12. She needs to learn all the body language and equine psychology, and, you know, riding is just a small percentage of it, and if she can learn all the other stuff, she's going to be safe. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.